What's good?
What's good? We're about to be live on Twitch because we do a live Twitch stream every Monday and Thursday. We talk finance here on Twitch. So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right, I'm listening.
All right, AD, it's great to see you. I see JoJo, I see Landon, I see everybody's here on Clubhouse today. I love it. JoJo is a friend of mine she's from the UK, though I know her from Ibiza. And yes, good morning to all of you. I'm just gonna kill that feedback. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Clubhouse talking finance with all of you. You're seeing GameStop continue to plummet. Anthony, did you buy any of that GameStop stock last week?
No.
No. And why didn't you buy any of it?
Because I'm not a fool.
No, listen, I'm not laughing at you all. I'm laughing with you. You know that if you were here with us last Monday, I told you that it was a buy at 68 because you had some support at about $70. It went up from there, Anthony, and it went insane. And when you saw it go up to like $500, you were all here with us on Twitch. And you know that I told you that it was not safe out there anymore, that it was getting dangerous and that people were going to get hurt. And now you're seeing today that the stock is at $67. So it's right back where it started last Monday. And that right there is troublesome. So what exactly to you, Anthony, made this a fool's gold? Why were you the smart money in this?
Well, obviously, I'm familiar with the market, honestly, dealing with the youth. And I know kids are buying games and they're doing all that stuff, but for stock just to shoot up like that, and I get it, it's part of the game, but I just, I told myself I'm not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what it is too. It's like, you and I, we've been around for a minute. We're vintage, as I like to say. I don't like the word old. I like the word vintage. So, we've seen some bubbles in our time, right? You've gone through the .com bubble. We were about in high school or college when that happened. You've seen obviously the housing bubble that happened 13 years ago. And, now here's just another bubble that's just come along. And there are a lot of kids, as you said, that bought into this hype. And unfortunately now, a lot of people have been hurt, especially if you bought. I mean, Anthony, there are people who bought it at $500 last week, right?
I believe it. Trust me, I know.
It's crazy. And, today they're looking at their stock at $65. I'm sharing my screen with you here on Twitch. Good morning to all of you who are live with us here on Twitch. Of course, you could jump in the chat and ask me whatever question you got for me. I'm willing to answer because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you. And if you want to learn about this intimately, like really have this be a part of you, take my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. You can take my stock course. I teach you about the stock market. I teach you about Bitcoin, and I teach you how to read charts the way that I'm reading them. I'm not a genius. I'm just a guy in a suit. I just took the time, though, to actually learn. And now I have students that are making a lot of money. Anthony, one of my students made $1,500 last Wednesday morning.
Good for him. All right, good for the student.
$1,500 in just a few minutes.
Baller.
Balling.
He's a baller.
Exactly.
He's a baller.
Exactly. And he called me up, Anthony. He was like, "Oh, what?" And I remember what you told me to just shut it down and just go take a walk. I said, "Yeah, exactly. You made more today in a few minutes than most people will make in the world in the entire month. So just go be with your family, go golf, go have some lunch, and tomorrow's a new day." So yeah, yourbitcoinnow.com. You can learn how to do all of this. And, I'm glad to teach you as well. So we're looking at GameStop here. And the Bears are definitely winning this. This is actually something I was looking to short as of last week. And, I didn't touch it, Anthony, because the options didn't look sexy enough for me. And I said, I'm just going to stick to my regular boring stocks that make me a lot of money, and my regular options that make me a lot of money. And yeah, we're seeing now, this madness. I know people who bought last week and are getting killed this week. I know them, And
see, you know what it is. I think I'm not saying, I'm like the guy on the market or whatever. Like, but a lot of people don't ask questions.
Right.
A lot of people just tend to jump out there and just because they see something, they want to be the person to be like, oh, I did this first, so I knew this was gonna happen or whatever. And listen, with the stock market, you gotta ask questions. You gotta ask people who, who basically live and breathe this thing, where you gotta figure out, listen, should I mess with this or I shouldn't mess with it? And you gotta do your homework. A lot of people just get caught up in the hype and get caught up in something, and and obviously people got caught up with this GameStop and AMC theaters, and now they got screwed, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And you just mentioned AMC, also another one that definitely has been tanking. Today it's down 13%. It's down to 780. And I mean, just a few days ago, you saw it at $13. So there are people that bought it at $13, and now it's been cut in half essentially. So 50% loss for all of those people, which is just, I mean, it's tragic, except for the fact that you have people out there, like you said, Anthony, who know better. And you have to ask questions when you're in this realm, right? You can't just go into it thinking, well, yeah, I'm gonna ride this train, because it's not the lottery, it's not a game. And for the most part, you just want to be wise. Be wise with where you put your money. Let's talk quickly about Bitcoin. You remember, Anthony, a couple of years ago, I told you about Bitcoin, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you picked up any Bitcoin since?
Yeah, I actually invested in Bitcoin.
Good for you.
I'm actually, because even after we spoke about it, I started doing more. But that was the thing. Like, me and you started talking about it. I started doing homework on it, and then I just, now it's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, I gotta be comfortable. I gotta be comfortable. Listen, if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, and if I'm gonna lose, I gotta be able to be comfortable with it and just say, F it, like I'm losing it. But after our conversation and after doing my homework on it, I invested in Bitcoin, and it's probably one of the smartest things I did.
You're welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
No, thank you as well.
Yeah, you know what? The thing with Bitcoin, so I remember our conversation. I think it was the end of 2017. I want to say it was like after like the really serious.
Yeah.
It was a really serious hype, and at the time, here's the thing, Anthony. So I knew about Bitcoin since 2015, right? And when you're out there talking about Bitcoin, and in 2015, the reason why I thought it was something is because when you went on Expedia, you've been on Expedia.com before, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you're buying a flight on there, you're buying a rental car, a trip of some sort, and you're on there. And when you were on there in 2015, said, okay, you want to buy your flight, we'll take Visa, Amex, MasterCard, and Bitcoin. And for me, I was just kind of using common sense, like, well, why would Expedia accept this if it wasn't money? It's got to be money if Expedia is saying, yeah, you can buy your $1,000 flight with Bitcoin, right? So when you're me in that realm at that time, you go and you ask your expert friends on Wall Street, your expert friends in real estate who know finance, say, okay, what's up with this Bitcoin? And you know what they told me, Anthony? They told me, it's a waste of time. It's fake money. Do you know how much Bitcoin was at that time? Bitcoin was like, how much was Bitcoin at that? It was $200. $200 it was. And, ultimately, I didn't touch it because the experts that I knew, they were like, well, don't touch it. I said, okay, well, I guess you're right. I won't touch it. And lo and behold, 2 years later, 2017, as I was looking for work here in Vegas, I just moved to Vegas and I was planting my feet. And, I just got frustrated one night and I was just like, why am I even working for anybody? I'm an investor. I've owned real estate. I've owned stocks. Whatever happened with that Bitcoin anyway? And I looked it up and it was $5,000. And at that point, you ask your expert friends, well, hey, you know, this Bitcoin here is, you know, it's $5,000 now, right? And your expert
Yes.
friends, what do they tell you at that point? They say, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. I say, you know what? I'm going to worry about it. And I dove right into the space. That was October of 2017 or so. I spoke with you around the holidays then, December 2017. I said, you got to jump on this Bitcoin. And I know I sounded and probably looked like, you know, Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Like, hey, you gotta pick up this Bitcoin. It's the biggest thing ever. You gotta pick it up. And you're like, my friend done lost it. He's talking about digital money. Man, what is he talking about?
No. But dude, it wasn't that you lost it with it because you weren't the first conversation. But thank you. You wasn't the first conversation about it, but like how in depth you went in on it. I'm like, oh my god, like he definitely believes in this thing. And because like there was other people, like I said, there was other people that came to me and spoke to me about Bitcoin, and I was just kind of like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then after, and then I had the conversation with you. Then I'm like, yo, I got to do my homework with this thing. I'm hearing too many people talk about this thing, and this thing could be, like in everything, there's always a wave. And so I said, let me do my homework on this thing, and and now, I'm up. I gotta just let it play out at this point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, you know, like I tell my students, like I tell everyone, especially here on Twitch and here on Clubhouse, it could go to zero. Like it could go to zero tomorrow. You know, that's really like with anything, you don't know where it's going because you can't predict the future. I just take, the information that I have about the space, what you see about crypto and what you know about Bitcoin specifically, and then you look at monetary policy and you just see what's happening in the world. The US government has been printing trillions of dollars and there's more trillions to come. So when you do that, you're devaluing a currency, right? Because there's more supply, it's valued less over time. So because it's valued less over time, everything else you see around becomes more expensive. So it's not like you're seeing real estate become more expensive because it's more valuable, or you're seeing groceries become more expensive because it's more valuable. It's because you're seeing the currency get devalued. You've seen this happen in the Weimar Republic prior to Nazi Germany. You saw this happen in Zimbabwe. You've seen this happen in many countries over where their currency gets devalued to a large degree and everything becomes expensive overnight. So with that said, you're likely to see Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space appreciate in value, specifically Bitcoin, because it's the number one cryptocurrency, because currencies are being devalued around the world. You see the euro, the Eurozone is printing money. You're seeing the UK print money. You're seeing, the Bank of China, they're devaluing their currency in order to stay solvent and to stay competitive. So when you see that happen, what's likely to happen? You're likely to see assets rise, one of those assets being Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So yeah, ultimately, I'm glad you made the move. I'm glad that you stepped up, and I'm glad it was beneficial for you. There are definitely a couple of years, since we spoke, where it's just like, oh man, I was sweating a bit. It's just like, oof, like, yeah, I don't know.
Ain't nothing said about. Hey, my brother, I'm gonna have to log back on. I gotta jump in. I gotta jump in this conversation real quick, but I'm gonna log back on.
Hey, thank you for jumping on here in Clubhouse for sure.
Of course. All right.
One love, my boy Anthony, jumping on with us there. And shout outs to JoJo too. She jumped in for a few. JoJo, I wish you would have spoken a little bit more, but it's all good. My homie Anthony, we've known each other since kindergarten, literally. He's probably my oldest friend at this point. My most vintage friend. Don't like that term. I don't mind the term old, but I like vintage. It has a ring to it. This basically him jumping on and talking. I talked with him about Bitcoin back in late 2017. And at the time, I think the price was maybe about 15K. And now, of course, you're seeing the Bitcoin price. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price. Let's have a look. Where is Bitcoin at right now? Yeah, let's have a look. We're live around the world. Shout outs to you for checking us out. And if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching our restream. Yes, because we restream on YouTube. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin here, we're at 37,000, close to it at 36.8, and Bitcoin price is looking very healthy. Now, that brings me to something that's been weighing on me, actually. So you're looking at the Bitcoin price just here and the Bitcoin chart here on Twitch, yes, and on YouTube. I was gonna say you're looking at it on Clubhouse, but Clubhouse there's only audio. So, okay, so what we have here is yes, the peak so far, which is January 8th, 2021, and that peak was 41.9. So about 42,000. You saw Bitcoin hit on. Let's see, this is Coinbase. Okay, so that's the peak that you've seen. Since then, you've seen a retracement. There was a low of 28.7 on January 22nd. So just 2 weeks later, you saw the price come down steadily. It hit the 50-day moving average, so it tested that support and it's bounced off of the 50-day. And now you see the price coming back up to about 37. This right here is a major resistance to me. This is around 38.8, 38.863. And from seeing that resistance, for me at least, what I'm seeing is the idea that perhaps you'll see the price kind of stay under that level for the remainder of the year. I know, I know. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear that Bitcoin's going to 100,000 this year. Let me zoom out for you just to kind of tell you exactly why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. So when I looked at Bitcoin back in let's see, all back in the days in like November of 2020, I was looking at Bitcoin kind of come to these levels. So here you see November 2020, it kind of jumped right to here about 20K. And what it did that month was it hit the all-time high. Let's see, the all-time high previously was 19,891, and we got to 19,873. You see on the monthly chart here for Bitcoin back in November of 2020. So you saw Bitcoin go to that level. And that to me was like, okay, definitely very bullish to see that happen, but didn't quite crack through the all-time high. So at that point, I drew a fib extension. Again, I teach you how to do this through my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. Make sure you link up with my course so you can learn a thing or two about Bitcoin. Yeah, that's basically what you do, and you can learn. The more you learn, the more you earn. So just looking here at the chart once again, I drew that fib extension because I said, okay, for the year going forward, 2021, my uh, my bullish, actually my conservative estimate is we hit 24.4, because again, I'm just going by levels, right? I'm not guessing here. You don't see me just plucking numbers out of the air like you see a lot of people do, not only in this space, but just generally a lot of guessing happening. No, I'm looking, just like you're looking at them with me. You're looking at them, I'm looking at them. You're seeing Fibonacci resistances and support levels. So 24.4 is where we were at here. And yes, that was my conservative estimate for the year. I said, perhaps we'll get here, kind of retrace the move, maybe go sideways and continue to test that resistance. And then you'll see Bitcoin, top out at that level. That's what I was thinking, right? In fact, I thought maybe, we would kind of retrace from here in November and then eventually get there, right? Instead, what you saw was an incredibly bullish December and incredibly bullish January, because my most, out of this world estimate for the year was 38.8 up here. Because again, you don't see me guessing here. You're looking at fib levels and they're right there for the taking. You don't have to guess. They're right there. And again, I teach you this in my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. Log on now and you can pick up my course so you can learn how to do this for yourself. 38,869 was my most bullish, like, oof. But that to me was like crazy talk, right? Well, lo and behold, how crazy was I? Because you saw the thing go right to it in 2 months. Crazy. So why does that matter now? Well, why not just go to 100K from here? Okay, could happen, right? Let's zoom out and see where 100K is at. It could happen, right? In fact, that's the top. That is the tippy top of that fib, 99988, right? And if you're looking at this thing like stairs, right, it could just monthly, just kind of March, May, June, July, August, September, November, and eventually get there, right? Um, for me, I'm not as bullish in that regard. just because it's just so crazy where you've seen it at. You see that the RSI is super overbought here. It's not quite as overbought as it was in 2017. So that 2017 level on the RSI is this indicator up here. Again, I teach you about this in my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. 96.22 is the all-time highest of that RSI looking on this chart here. And of course, that was December. You remember December 2017. And you remember how crazy Bitcoin was. You remember seeing everybody talk about it. You remember seeing it all over the news. The level here on the RSI, we have 86.20. So it's about 10 points off where it was back in December 2017. So you do have a bit more ways to go in terms of it being as overbought as you've previously seen it. For me, it just makes more sense if we retrace this move a bit. Now, there's a lot going for Bitcoin right now to the point where you won't see it retrace. And the reason why you won't see it retrace is because we're in that year post halving. So again, I teach you about this in my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. When you have a halving in Bitcoin, so every 4 years, half of the supply is cut down in terms of production. So let's say and these are real numbers in the sense that you can find these real numbers. I just don't have them in front of me right now. But let's say you have a million Bitcoin that are being created, and they're being created every year. Every 4 years, what happens, it gets cut down in half. So let's say, in the next 4 years, we're in 2021. Let's say in 2025, you have a halving. So only 500,000 per year created. And that goes on and goes on and so forth until I believe the year 21 or 22 something, where no more Bitcoin will be mined. And all the Bitcoin you see in the world at that point will be the totality of Bitcoin. There will be scarcity created as a result. So why does any of this make sense? Well, this makes sense for you in the sense that when Bitcoin has a halving year, the post year you see a large appreciation happen. So 2008 Bitcoin was created. 2009 you had a run up. There was another halving in 2012. 2013 you saw a run up. Another halving in 2016 you saw. 2017 a run up. Halving in 2020, and now you're seeing the run happen, right? And your question may be, well, where do we go from here? If you're super bullish, right, and you are going by what you've seen in the past happen, then you think this thing's going to the moon. You do think it's going to go to that 100,000 level or more. That said, for me, it's just hard for me to be that bullish. So I think, you know, I mean, I'm torn because on the one hand, I'm looking at something that I think will go to 100,000 just based off of the halving and what's happened before. You're due for a huge move up and a huge bullish year. So if you saw Bitcoin only stay at a high of 38 or 41,000, 42,000 for the year 2021, that would break the streak, so to speak, of what you've seen happen in the past, which is halving year, incredibly bullish year. You might be saying, well, we've had an incredibly bullish year. You've seen Bitcoin go from 20,000 to 30, 42,000. Well, not quite. You actually saw Bitcoin go from, let's see, the month of December ended at, I'm just looking at the chart again. It closed at 28.9 and another 12,000 got added. That's, about a little less than a 50% return. And to be honest with you, that's not the bullishness that you've seen come out of Bitcoin when you see these halvings happen in terms of a post-halving year. So what you've seen is like a 10x. So if you closed December at 28.8 or whatever number I just told you, then you should see Bitcoin, go to like over 200 grand this year, really. Now, you might be saying, whoa, I love it because I own Bitcoin and that sounds awesome. Just looking at a chart, it makes sense in terms of the fundamentals of what you've seen in the space, but just from a technical analysis standpoint, it's just so crazy. I'm just going to pull up the chart for you once again. Of course, you're live with me on Clubhouse right now and on Twitch. So shout outs to you. And of course, shout outs to everyone watching. If you're watching, hello, hi, watching our restream on YouTube. So just pulling up the chart once again, and I'm going to make it in full. And just look at this, right? So 200,000. This is 200,000 up here. And I'm just gonna just move it to the right so you can see the rest of the year. And yeah, so this is January 2022. So I'm pointed, and I need to zoom out even more because I need 200,000. Okay, so this is 200,000 in January 2022. Can you get there? Yes. Would it be incredibly overbought and overextended? Yes, absolutely. You'd see that happen too. Um, but that's what we're due for because you've seen again a 10x. Generally, you've seen a 10x every time you've seen a halving year into a post halving year. And a 10x from here would be even more than 200,000. You'd actually see it go up to almost 300,000 given the 288s that it closed for the year. So let's just, for the sake of a little fun on a Thursday morning, we go to January 2022 and we go to 28,000. So that would be 280,000, by the way, 282,000 to be specific. Can it get there? Yes, absolutely. I've seen crazier things happen in Bitcoin. I've seen, you can see a huge candle go from here to like here within a month, right? Which is a doubling in a month. Absolute insanity. If you do see this happen, by the way, you're going to see a lot more people interested in Bitcoin, just for the record. So yeah, fun times in the Bitcoin space. For me, though, from a technical analysis standpoint, if you see it go to 100,000 this year, okay. If you see it not go past the 38,000 this year in terms of that holding that resistance of 42,000 for the year, that would make a lot of sense to me from a technical analysis standpoint, and possibly it would make sense to you. However, once again, it would also be a bearish year for the space. Fundamentally, what you've seen before, you've seen a halving year, and then you've seen an incredibly bullish year after. And 42,000 would be like, it would kind of be like um, the Batman with Schwarzenegger and George Clooney. So you've had previous Batmans do really well and be phenomenal films, and then you kind of had this dud, right? Which it's just like, man, well, what happened there, right? And by the way, I paid to see that movie in the theater, so we are live. You are live with us here on Twitch and on Bit and on Clubhouse, of course. So thank you so much for being here. If you have a question, jump in the chat and just ask a question. Ask away. I'm here to answer your questions. And yeah, that's how we do things here. When we want to check back in with the price of GameStop. So the GameStop euphoria seems to have worn off at this point, and I'm really sad for anyone who bought in at the top because, geez, just here's the thing about markets. Markets are efficient, so markets may not be perfect, but markets are efficient. So when you see crazy things like these crazy run-ups, like you heard Anthony earlier, then you're not likely to see them last because markets, again, they're efficient. So, it doesn't make much sense. Here I'm sharing screen with you once again of GameStop and the chart. So you've seen this huge run up. This is January, right? 483. Started the month of February, and it's been incredibly bearish for the month of February. We came out of those overbought conditions, so we're now back in an equilibrium. So um, here we are again. Here you and me are again. Once again, you and I are taking a look at GameStop at these levels. You might be asking yourself, well, this is it, right? This is the end. This is something you shouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. This is something that is just, incredibly bearish, down to 27% at the time I'm recording and talking with you. Could be buy here. Now, you might be saying, what are you, nuts? I'm not touching this. No way. And I would not fault you for saying that, but I'm going back again to those levels. There's levels to this, and there's levels you're seeing here that matter. So you have the 12-day moving average here. And again, I teach you about this in my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. Log on and you can learn about how to do this, right? I'm just a guy in a suit. Hey. So 12-day moving average you have here, and ultimately that's serving as support right now. Now it could break through that support and just completely crush it. Let's look at the Heikinashi real quick. I teach you about Heikinashi in my course. Green candle on the Heikinashi. That right there bodes bullish. It bodes bullish. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of a mess right now. But that said, I would not mind. I would not mind buying, or not buying, but selling the puts at these levels, because the risk reward um, might be really good. So I'm going to look at, actually, I'm going to open up my options account. I'm not going to show you my options account because we want to keep some things, for ourselves. But I want to talk to you as I talk through it. You're looking at GameStop here. So I teach you in my course that Heikinashi is another indicator for you to tell you whether you should be within a stock or not, to tell you whether things are bullish or bearish, whether you can respect the trend that you're seeing or not. Because if you look at that big red candle with the regular candles, like I was showing you earlier, you might be like, ooh, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. That's horrible. But when you look at the Heikinashi, you're seeing two green candles, right? You saw my reaction. Two green candles. Whoa. Well, what that says to me is perhaps you're not out of the woods in terms of some sort of support here, and in terms of things remaining bullish. So I'm going to open up my options trading account. And, I didn't put options into my schedule today, which I wish I did, because, today's Thursday and I love, 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 love to sell calls or puts on the on Thursday before expiration, because you have expiration tomorrow, Friday being the 5th. So whatever the expiration date is for that week, I love selling options the day before, because you're one and done. You're in and you're out, especially options that are very expensive, because then you can just have a really great time cashing in, right? So if you sell the option the week out, at least if you're me, yeah, you can do great, but you kind of have to watch it all week, and you kind of you're in the mix for a little longer than maybe you want to be. When I'm doing it on a monthly, that I don't mind, because I know that it's going through a journey. But when you're looking at it for a week, the options are closing that week, and you have to kind of be nimble. For you and I, just to tell you, I love when I can just day in, and I get in like the last hour of trading, and then I'm out the next day. In, out. Love it. I've done really well with it for the last couple of months, and I'm going to continue going on. I look forward to putting monthlies back on, though, because I do love monthlies. I do love opening trades on options, selling calls and puts about 45 days out, and then when you do that, you get a lot of premium, because you're taking that risk of going pretty far out, or relatively far out. And yeah, you just see that decay happen, and you see these options expire worthless, and then you cash in. You cash in. So I'm looking, I have an SLV trade in options as well. SLV, man, silver's just been so weird as of late. You had a big run up in silver, went up to like $30, and then it came back down, and it was like a pump and dump almost. Not quite a P and D, but it was, it was like, I thought it was going to be a sustained, silver's been due for a breakout. So I thought that's what you'd end up seeing. So, but, you can be wrong in this space for sure. You can be wrong. So I'm just going to move this here, and I want to take a look at where you have options on the big old GameStop. What are we doing with GameStop today? So GameStop, going to open GME. Current price for GameStop right now, 66.92, as you see on the screen. A lot of craziness happening with the stock, down 27% today. However, you're seeing a support level. I mean, 390 calls being sold last week. Ugh. I should have sold those calls out for the following week, but it's all good. All right, so let's see. We're at 62, and let's see where the puts are at. I'm guessing the puts are very expensive. Let's see. We're looking at puts at, yeah, so they're not too bad. If you sell the 67 puts, because I'm expecting a bounce for tomorrow. So, I'm basically selling them at the money. So let's see. If you're selling, let's say, the 66 puts on GameStop. So this is options now. If you don't understand, if what I'm saying to you sounds like Chinese, don't feel discouraged. I teach you about this in my course too, by the way. Just yourbitcoinnow.com. I'll teach you how to do all of this. And I love options. So we're going to just look at a vertical here on Thinkorswim. And yeah, so selling those puts. See, that's the thing. Like the put options, they're expensive, but they're not quite expensive enough for my liking. Um, well, then again, this is not too bad. It's like a 50, it's basically 50-50. So, um, yeah, it's not too bad. Let's look at that's if we sell the 66 and buy the 65, right? So that would be called a vertical in options. So we're going to look at a $5 spread. So we're going to go to 60. It's kind of moving a little slow because I have the Zoom open with you. We're seeing GameStop now at 65.39. The low for the day you see on GameStop is $62. And I do think it's going to respect the 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 12-day moving average. I do think. Could be wrong because it's a game of misses to some degree. So we see that we get a 244 credit, and that's not too bad, not too bad. So it's 50-50 right now. If you go for these options, you get a 241 max credit, and you get a 259 loss if you're wrong. And yeah, I kind of like those odds in the sense that you have a resistance there. I mean, a support there, right? This is essentially what happened last week. Um, so, that's the big question. Will GameStop respect that support? Will it? Will it? Or will it not? That is a big question, right? So basically the price has to stay above 64 tomorrow, 63, 62, in order for me to be profitable. And as long as the price is above 67 or 66.14, then it's a winner chicken dinner for the day. And yeah, I mean, you either win 240 or you lose 260. It's 50-50. I like the risk reward. It's not the best risk reward, by the way, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. And again, that 66, I kind of want to open this trade now, in a sense, even though, you're seeing what you're seeing. I prefer to open these trades late in the day, when the time is like around, an hour, when you see an hour left in trading. But, I don't know. So GameStop, I'm just going to just look around here, the hourly, we're going to go to our regular candles here for you. And yeah, just well below that, well below this here on the, under the 12 day, under the 26, under the 50. There's literally no support here. So, I mean, what's that? Oh no, that's what level is that? It's weird. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, so there's no, because it's a long term fib. Yes. So there's no support at this level on the hourly. None, zero, zip, zilch. You're seeing. So that is scary for, it could be scary for you if you're in on that trade there. Let's go look at the daily chart. Again, 50-day moving average. Does it break bearish below the 50-day? Let's go to the Heikinashi and have a look. So the 3 bear candles on the Heikinashi, which means you should see another bear candle tomorrow, or you see things bounce from here. I kind of want to open that trade. Let's see, 248 it's at now. Um, let's look at where the hourly's been at today. So we're gonna open our regular candles. This is fun. I get to just basically talking to you, and my brain hurts already. What's up, Julie? Great to see you. I teach this all to you in my course, so I'm going pretty deep in the weeds today, Julie. And Julie's just checking in here on Twitch, so it's great to see friends here today. By the way, Julie has Julie D630 has an amazing show that she does on Wednesdays on Twitch. So make sure you check her out as well. It's a lot of fun. It's basically a show about nothing. So it's kind of like Seinfeld, which happens to be one of the best sitcoms you've ever seen in the world. So Julie D is definitely doing amazing on that Twitch. I definitely got a lot of great ideas for my ebooks and for books and for writing just from listening and watching her yesterday, because you see a lot of different talk about a lot of things. And I enjoyed that. So thank you so much for that, Julie. We're looking at GameStop here. And yes, GameStop, GameStop, GameStop. 50-day moving average doesn't respect that 50-day. You're seeing it at 64.50 now, 64.21. We're going to open up the hourly and just have a look to see where the day opens. So the day open bearish, which means that the day should close bearish, which means that you should see GameStop go down further, which means it basically means I should wait to open this trade because it's going to retest that 62 level. 62.13 is the all-time low for the day, and we're heading in that direction now. We're down at 64, which will make the options that I want to sell a bit more expensive, which is great because if you're selling the options, then you're making more profit if it's more expensive. So it's going to actually help the risk reward, and that will be great. Now I'll be out, all good, Julie. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you, Julie. And I appreciate your show yesterday. It was a lot of fun being on there. So thank you for that. So yeah, so when you're selling options here, you know, you're looking at it wanting to be, if you're selling options, you're looking at it wanting to be expensive. So the more expensive they are, the better it is for you, because ultimately you're getting more premium, right? You're collecting more premium. And again, getting really deep in the weeds with you here this morning. And that's because I'm just kind of walking you through my trading psychology as I look at different trades. So yeah, that's GameStop. Check back in with AMC. Looks like AMC is down to 771, down 14% for the day. Not great for GameStop. A couple of stocks that my students and I were looking at yesterday. GameStop, just going back to that, down 30% for the day. And, two bearish days in a row. So tomorrow should be bullish. Actually, 3 bearish days in a row. Jeez. 4 bearish days. 5 bearish days in a row. It is not at a bull day, but it's gapped up, right? So it was here. It closed at 193.60. The next day, it opened at 379. So, it's been gapping up. The next day, which was Monday, opened at 316 and closed at 225. And it's just been gapping down all week. So, well, actually, let's see. It closed at 90 on the 2nd, and it opened at 112 on Wednesday, or yesterday, actually. So what you should see is you should see it, you should see it open up bullish tomorrow, and it should respect that moving average. Will it? I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Why not? So 240 collecting on that premium. Should be no opening complex option orders allowed on this security. Ooh, so it's not even so TD Ameritrade is not even allowing me to open up an options trade on GameStop. So it's not just Robinhood, y'all. It looks like the whole industry is like, yeah, we're not messing with GameStop. So I'm gonna try one more time. So I was trying to sell the 66 and buy the 61. And let's see if that goes through. It's a little less premium now than before. And it says no. It says no. Yeah, it's not letting me even open the trade. So, well, there goes that. Thanks, TD Ameritrade. Can't even open that trade. But it's not Robinhood. It's GameStop against the world this week for sure. So ultimately, you're seeing not a lot of love for anything GameStop related from the finance industry. And this because, again, markets are efficient. And when you see craziness like you've been seeing for the last 10 days or so, markets are going to say, no soup for you. Julie, if you have any questions, make sure you weigh in because I would love to hear your questions. I love taking questions here. We've got about 13 minutes left, or about, I'll say 11 minutes left. There is a client I'm going to be talking to at the top of the hour, so I want to be on time. Yes. But yes, I'm always willing to take your questions here. It was great having Anthony jump on earlier and just talk about his Bitcoin experience because, yeah, Bitcoin, we love Bitcoin. And I'm really glad that he bought it when he did because he's up, like he said, like he told you, and I can teach you about this stuff yourbitcoinnow.com. Shout out to the dogs barking right now. They're having fun. They were kind of walking around inside the studio today. You might have heard them. Um, but, ultimately, I had to say, hey, guys, you got to go because there was a lot of pause. When I say pause, I mean pause, like PAWS. So we wanted to just make sure that, you guys could properly, hear everything. I'm here for you. Julie weighing in. Investing knowledge consists of using stash. So, what are you liking in your stash portfolio, Julie? What are you liking? I know that you're not the first person to say that you're into stash. I believe my brother uses stash, and I'm just going to look up stash real quick. So, stash is there's no investment minimums, um, and invest in yourself. Yes, there's many things with stash. I'm going to go to the stash website. This is not an ad, by the way. I'm just walking you through, what's going on. So let's look at stash real quick and share my screen with you. And let's go to stash. Yes, stash. Not to be confused with mustache. That would be this here. So stash, investing made easy. We love that. You can start with just $5. So why stash? So it says investing what you can afford. You have fractional shares, so you don't have to buy, a whole share of Amazon. You can buy part of a share of Amazon, right? You have a stock back card. It says invest as you spend. When you use our card, we'll give you stock in well-known brands. There's different plans. Invest in yourself. It says banking, retirement, invest in your future, family, invest in your children. 5 million users. It costs $1 a month for a beginner, $3 a month for growth. It gives you a traditional Roth or retirement account. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Tax benefits for retirement advice and investing and personalized retirement advice. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm liking it. The best performing one is Amazon, Julie says. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all, Julie, that you have Amazon doing really well for you because Amazon is a behemoth. And shout out to Mr. Bezos for his stepping down this week. He's definitely a G. But when you're in your 50s, right, you've created one of the biggest companies in the world. You're the richest guy in the world. Why not live a little? Kick back, let somebody else run your company for you, which is what he's doing now. He stepped down to CEO. And yeah, Amazon is something I know I use. I know I'm going to guess Julie uses it as well. But Julie, what else do you have in your stash portfolio? I'd love to look at some of the charts and actually talk to you about what you've got going on, and or if they're good, really good for the long term, and yeah, when you can expect for them to pop. So Julie's saying here on Twitch, I like it because I invest $5 a week in regular account and $5 in the retirement side. It adds up at the end of the year. Yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. Yes. I didn't realize that Stash did retirement accounts. So that's pretty cool. And I ignored the Stash Plus. So that's $9 a month. Everything in Stash Growth. You get investing for your children, exclusive stock back card bonuses, premium research and advice, and life insurance. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, we like that. 10K of life insurance, by the way. So yes, not bad. So some frequently asked questions. What is Stash? Stash is a personal finance app for you that simplifies investing, and it makes it easy for you and affordable for everyday Americans to build wealth and achieve their financial goals. That's so nice. Stash was built with a simple philosophy. It says everyone should have access to investing. So thanks to your fractional shares, you can invest in the stock. You can invest in the stock market with $5 or less. Buenísimo. And along with other investing and saving tools like the stock back card, a Stash helps more than 5 million people reach their financial goals. So yeah, so that's not bad at all. How does Stash work? A bunch of things it says there. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad at all. Tilray was one recommended by Stash. I only have $5 in there, but it's up 52%. Same with Mattel, up 63%. Whoa! Wow, Mattel. I'm surprised Mattel's doing as well as it is. Mattel, my bell. So let's have a look at Mattel, and because Mattel, we love them for the toys. I grew up with Mattel and their toys. When I think of Mattel, I think of GI Joes and He Man and stuff like that. I don't know, and Thundercats. You know why I think of those things? Because there's all these Mattel commercials when you used to watch TV back in the days. This is back when there was like three channels, y'all. I'm not old, I'm vintage. So yeah, so back then you had all these Mattel commercials, and yeah, that's why I associate Mattel with all the cartoons I used to watch as a child. G.I. Joe, yeah. All right, so let's look at Mattel right quick. It's currently at 1856. I'm just gonna put my plug in here to make sure that we have power for the rest of the show. You know, I was teaching on Zoom yesterday, and I'm in the middle of giving this heartfelt speech, and boom, power goes out. I'm like, oh, I had to look, and I grabbed this, and I was just like, Homer Simpson moment. It was. It's all good though. We're powered up. You got the power. I got the power. So let's look at Mattel. Mattel has been doing well for the last few months. I see it's in a long-term bear trend though, because the previous high goes back. You can just see. By the way, I teach you this in my course, yourbitcoinnow.com. You can take my course and I'll teach you how to look at this and know what is happening. And therefore, you'll be able to invest wisely and you'll have your hands on the steering wheel. So, okay, going back to the 80s, Mattel was about there. This level's around $4. So it had a run up here in the late 90s. It looks like it hit a 46.56 high. And then it had a bear market. It was on the NASDAQ. So as I teach you about manias and bubbles in my course, and in lesson 6, you and I talk about that. And yeah, with that, the NASDAQ had the bubble burst. It's called the .com bubble burst. And because you see Mattel is on the NASDAQ, that apple spoiled the bunch. So it went down in the 2000s down to like $9. So it was at 46 all the way down to 9. Yikes. The 2000s were not great to Mattel. It had a little bit of a run in '07, went back up to 29.71, and then a run down January 2009. It looks like it was around 10 or $11. But then what happened? 2013 happened. Huge run up, back close to those previous all-time highs. In fact, 48.48 looks like it hit an all-time high. Was that the all-time high? 48.48, yes, hit that all-time high in 2013, and it's had a precipitous decline since. I don't know why exactly. I don't know much about the company. So if you were to ask me, well, why did it go down? I don't know. I'm just looking at the chart. It hit a low in March 2020 here, and that was back when it was 653 once again. So, how much was it when Julie? How much was it when you bought it? I would love to know what the share price was when you bought Mattel, because I'm seeing on the chart that it was all the way down to like 653. Now, if you bought it down at these levels in March, I mean, you did amazing now because it's at 1854. Also, something quite bullish. You're seeing it just broke above the 50-day moving average. Very, very bullish for the stock for sure. That is definitely bull sentiment because ultimately, if things weren't bullish, meaning like it wasn't gonna continue to move back up, you would see um, the price come up to these lines here, which are exponential moving averages, and they would just reject. They would go up and they would be like a ceiling and the price would go back down. But the fact that you've seen them broke through these ceilings, broke through these resistances you've seen, that is very, very bullish. So we like that. We love it. We love it. We have 2 minutes remaining in the show. Actually, 1 minute remaining in the show. Thank you to everybody on Clubhouse as well. So cool to talk with you on Clubhouse. I love when you're weighing in on Clubhouse so I could talk to you en vivo, right in front of everybody. Love that. Kind of annoyed that I wasn't able to buy or sell those options on GameStop. It's like a no-brainer. Now, who knows? Maybe tomorrow the thing will go down to like 40 and I'll be like, dodge the bullet there. It was 860 when you purchased it, Julie. That is amazing. You're up, like you said, 63%. And things look pretty bullish. Looking at the RSI real quick, it is hitting, it's close to being overbought, but not quite. It's got a ways to go before that happens. So you've got some clear sailing, especially breaking above the 50-day moving average. So congrats to you. Let's look at the daily chart on Mattel Daily Chart. It's also looking pretty good here. So you are in good territory. It definitely retraced on the 28th, but that was just to like $17. So I mean, you got a great cost basis, Julie. You did great on that one. So yeah, look at you. Look at you investing, Julie. I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you made those great pickups there. And Amazon obviously is doing really well also. So we're just, we're excited. We get excited when you are winning out there. Yes! Yay! Been a pleasure being here with you. It's always a pleasure being here with you. I'm live with you every Monday and Thursday, 9 a.m. In the morning out of Las Vegas. So I want to congratulate Julie for being here and being a smart investor. Thank you for weighing in here on Twitch. And thank you to everyone on Clubhouse once again. And thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, we're so grateful that you watched. Continue to watch and subscribe right now. If you're watching here on Twitch, click that follow, click subscribe, yes, because I give away Bitcoin to my subscribers. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. It's been a pleasure being here with you. My name is Ooch, and I will see you. I'm actually streaming on Twitch, DJing, because I'm a DJ also. I'll be DJing with you here on Twitch tomorrow. Let There Be Disco from 2 p.m. Pacific. I will see you then.